motion, having too much motion, we too active. Turn my savage up, nigga cut his bitch get nasty. When beside me, I see millions in a garbage bag. Just like Diddy in my city, making them bands can't quit. Then put a rollie on this wrist, said I was cooking some ground shit. Think I'm bullshit. Come down to the city and it's lit. All these hoes thick. We gon' fuck them all like it rich. Don't be worried about the future, get your bag, little buddy.
Get your bag, little buddy.
You got to know that it's money.
You ain't going for nothing.
Unless you going for something.
What you on these days, bro?
Man, shit, just working, really, just working and
9 to 5 type shit?
Yeah. On the real estate here and there, you know.
What's happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun, here at Where Media Meets Studios in conjunction with VJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions, you know, on this Friday, March 24th, 2023. It's happening. We got a nice show for y'all lined up tonight. We're going to talk with some gems going to be dropped. Got a good brother in here that's going to give y'all some isms and help y'all out in this world because, you know, there's a lot of shit going on. Let everybody introduce themselves.
We'll start with our guest.
What's going on, good people? This your boy Damian Mackey, man. You know, I'm out here. I'm super man,
National champion.
I'm just hey, look, that's another lifetime. But I'm blessed to be in the building. These wonderful black men, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, let's get the game right. Let's talk some conversation about helping one another and building something, man. We gotta build some bridges instead of, you know what I'm saying, dissension and hating on one another. So, man, tap in tonight, y'all. Let's have a good time. Let's tap some knowledge. And I'm gonna salute to you, two black men, and enjoy this situation.
Salute. And the Ant got a question already. Ant said, when is Oklahoma going back to the playoffs?
Oh, he got jokes. I should have worn my ring just for you, Ant. Got me one.
So, for the people that may be unfamiliar with you, give us your background. Start where you want to start.
It's good. Shout out to the Bay Area, born and raised. My mom is from the Fillmore. My daddy's from Hunters Point.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up the San Francisco way.
Frisco.
Mom's moved to the East Bay when I was a youngster, really before I was born. So I'm a Union City brat, man. I rep that shit. I let niggas know I ain't out here trying to be something I'm not. But my bread, you know what I'm saying? We thorough.
Yeah.
Out there, really, Fillmore. That's where the family was at, and that's where they still be.
Yeah.
But man, I was a kid, you know what I'm saying, growing up in the suburbs, man. Go to school, get good grades, you know what I'm saying. Moms wanted me to get a good job. I was that cat that was taking care of business, and I was a 4.0 student. Keep it a buck with you.
There you go.
I was straight A's. Moms wasn't playing that shit. You know what I'm saying. Come home with a B and see what it is. Really, it was my daddy. I ain't gonna stunt. My dad was on some bring home a B and see what happened. So I took care of business in the classroom. But at an early age, man, you keep it a buck. My mom told me, like, I ain't gonna be able to pay for you to go to college. Like, that was a conversation. I'm the youngest of three. My older brother and my older sister, they went through the school systems first, and they didn't go to college right out of high school. And so mom was on some like, look, you gotta go get it. If you don't go get it, so you got to go hit your bow. You know what I'm saying? You got to hit Logan Senior High, and Hayward. So that's not what I was trying to do. So took my grades serious, and God blessed me with the ability to play football. You know what I'm saying? That speaks for itself. And man, went to college, and when I got there, it's interesting because my best friend went with me. Shout out to Roy Williams. He had James Logan High School, Dallas Cowboy, all the shit.
Shout out Roy.
That's fam. We was tapping today. Matter of fact, we was having a conversation about the barbecue. Like the crew, we gonna see what it do. But when we was in high school, bro, we got interviewed, and real, you were not the Logan where I don't think. It's my junior year. They interviewed us, and they was like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I was like, I think I'm gonna have a D1 scholarship playing college football. They asked Roy, where you see yourself in 5 years? Roy said, I'm going to be a first-round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
5 years later, he was a first-round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
Manifestation.
5 years later, already a D1 athlete. Like, legit, right? So that really taught me at a young age, like, what you think is who you are. And I just started to really buy into, like, okay, how do I have a growth mindset? How do I take my shit serious? You know what I'm saying? What do I got to do to make sure I don't be on some silly shit? Let's go be the best we can be. So, took me to Oklahoma. And then I jumped into education. I taught for 4 years. I became a principal at 29. Martin Luther King Middle School, Hayward, California. South Hayward, baby.
Wait,
You know.
let's not glaze over the football thing. So, legend has it, because your skills was definitely there. Now, I heard, and I never got a chance to talk to you, but I heard you had concussion issues. Is that true, or is that just
In college?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
kind of kept you from, making it to the next level?
100. So, yeah, my junior year, second game, I had a concussion. Right, and my sophomore year we won the Natty. We beat Florida State in Miami, and I was a starting kick returner, starting punt returner, starting slot receiver, as going into my junior year. You know what I'm saying? I had a good year as a sophomore. So both Roy and I doing our thing, representing the Bay Area tough. I got just a small concussion, no biggie, but I kind of low key rest back. You know what I'm saying? And then I got another concussion against Air Force. That was week 4. So coach sat me for a couple weeks. Our rivalry game is Texas. You know what I'm saying? Second Saturday in October. That's generally the sixth game of the season. It's my last game as a Sooner. I went through the entire game, didn't get hurt. But the next week of practice, just some bogus ass drill. Redshirt freshman trying to block a punt, and keep it 100. I squared him up and I hit him, but I fell. So on film, you can see me hit Buddy. He's actually a good friend of mine, man. He's a high school coach now. Hit him. I went about 5 yards, and then I woke up in the hospital. Paralyzed. Look, I was paralyzed, bro. Like I was on some other. I woke up, and if I was to put my hands in the air like this, this hand would do this. This hand would do this.
Wow.
Even though I'm like, lift that thing and say, like, my body, I had bruised my brain stem is what happened. And so my body was it was one of those things where it's like, is it worth it to even risk going further? And then really my coach was just on some kind of like, teams know what it is. You had 3 concussions in 7 weeks, you know what I'm saying? So it might have been an issue just on that end. And it would just make sense. So I got my degree in finance. I was like, okay, let me not get a bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? Let me get something legit. Boom, took care of that. I was cheerleading for my boy. He went on to 5 Pro Bowls, for made his money. The whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm about to switch this chair off.
Go ahead.
That one probably ain't gonna be too much.
Go ahead.
Now we Gucci.
Okay. So from football, you went another path. Where route you went?
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Being a college athlete, man, it was crazy. You know, I was in a state with no pro teams. We were the #1 team in America. We brought the team back from the ashes, and so look, we were stars. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was 19 years old, living
rock star life.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We did some shit, and I experienced some things. But here's what I knew. I knew that college wasn't going to be it for me, regardless if I went to the league or not. So I said, okay, let me make sure I leverage this, because they was leveraging me. You feel me? Like they was leveraging the ability that I had, and I was an all conference academic kid in college too. So like I was a young black kid that they could throw in front of the TV. They could put it, Mackey gonna say what he need to be saying in the newspapers. Yeah. And so I said, okay, I gotta get mine too. Look, if they had nil and all that back then, we'd have got paid. They would have had to pay us, because like we were legit diplomats for the school. Like we made the school look great, both on the field and off the field. But I just knew I needed a real degree. Right. And I wish I was a little younger, because if I had to redo it, I would have even did it different. But I wanted to learn about money. I wanted to put myself in a position to, have impact when I got home and have some skills. So I got that finance degree. And then, like I said, man, I came back home. Roy was in the league doing his thing in Dallas. And I jumped into education. Right. I wanted to get paid to do something I liked. And I like helping people. I like teaching. I was a teammate who, when my boys would struggle with their homework, I'll jump in and tutor their ass at study hall. You know what I'm saying? That's so. Yeah, man. I said, okay, let me get paid to do that. And in Cali, they don't pay enough. Right. But you 23, no debt, no bills, no kids, and they talking about we're gonna give you 60,000. That was sounding that sounded kind of cool in a way. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, definitely. In a way, I was with it, and so I jumped on that. And it was an experience, man. I taught 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then before I turned 30, they offered me a principal. So I was a middle school principal, my 30th birthday, and did that for 7 years. I was a principal at Logan for 2 years. Shout out to James Logan High School.
Shout out
You
James
feel me?
Logan.
You know how we do. All y'all from the town and from the city and all y'all schools, y'all didn't want to see us. Y'all wanted our chicks. Y'all knew what it was. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's call it a 29. Am I lying real? Back in the 90s? I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth.
Ant said he loves the Barry and Mack show, man. He said,
Who is Ant? Whoever Ant is.
Anthony's always watching, faithful tuner in of the show. He said, I'll read his whole comment. He said, "You one of the greatest men he's ever met. He's the first guy that looked like that I met who understood mathematics at a high level. His football knowledge is second to none." And he said, "I love the Barry and Mack show."
That's
also.
respect. Shout out
That's
to
what's
our
up.
podcast. That's
To my guy Ant. Yeah, so you have a few ventures and things that you're doing. So, like Ant spoke on the Barry and Mack show, your podcast. Tell us about your ventures. What you got going on, my good brother?
Man, I'm just a kid from the Bay trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You know what I'm saying?
No, you done did that already.
I'm trying to make $1
You already did that, brother.
Look, what you want to know? What you want to talk about? What you tell me?
What do you want to discuss?
Talk
Where you
about-
want to go from what? Talk about what you got going, and I'll chime in.
Okay, so
So,
what'd you say, Real?
what started-
I want to know about your newest venture with what you're doing as far as the financial,
Okay.
education that you're giving as far as your business.
Bet. So, math teacher. So let's
Okay.
backpedal 10 years.
Okay.
I'm in the math room.
Mm-hmm.
Who remembers Pythagorean theorem? Do you know what that? What's the formula? Who know it? Come on, Real. You don't know it?
Is that Soa Katoa? No.
Sokotoa is trig.
Ah, damn.
Pythagorean is a
Oh.
squared.
Times b squared equals c
A
squared.
squared plus b squared equals c squared. Do you know what it's used for?
Ah, I forgot.
Doesn't matter.
Who
Do you know what it's
used
used for?
I know some science.
It's math, bro.
Math is science.
Loki, it is. It is. So that's my. So you guys actually prove my point.
Is it a triangle?
It creates
Okay.
right triangles. It's one of the strongest ways to build a
Right.
foundation.
Okay.
If you are in
I should
architecture and
fucking
stuff
know
like that,
that.
that's a skill
Pyramid.
set you
I
have.
said I know science. I'm showing you I'm smart without telling you I'm smart.
My point is I spent 4 years teaching that distance formula, quadratic equation, and it's like, yo, what is niggas getting out of this? I don't know. Am I allowed to say niggas? Am I allowed to
Yeah, for sure. Shit, we say whatever we want here.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we
So
can
I'm
prove it.
teaching Pythagorean theorem. I'm teaching distance formula. I'm teaching quadratic equation. Mind you, state of California, they're gonna pass a standardized test, and my kids is generally 15 to 20% higher. Like we getting it ready. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Yes.
So in 2018, I was living in Texas. I moved to Texas for a year, my wife and I, and I got introduced to the money game, and I got a degree in finance. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I was financial illiterate, but I had owned property. I had done some stuff in my 20s and 30s, whatever. But I got a proper education on money, 2018, and when I got the game, I was like, yo, why am I teaching people how to use formulas for right triangles and use quadratic equations and that's not what niggas is doing. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people I know are struggling financially. They're looking for a way to make, here's how I look at it. Check me out. Follow me, y'all.
Yeah.
When you turn 5 in Cali, you generally start going to what? 5 years old is when you start
School.
what? You start school, right?
Yeah.
I started at 4.
What day of the week school is? What's the days of the week?
Monday through
Monday
Friday.
through Friday. What time school usually start?
8.
What time school
8:30.
usually end?
2:30.
2:30, 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
What's the funnest part of the school day?
Lunch or
What
recess.
time? Lunch and recess, right? 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You did, right? Okay, so check me out. You in elementary school, you want to get them stars, them E's, them O's. You feel me?
Yep,
Like, you know what to do. Them gold
That's the
stars.
CTDS
Yeah, shit, right? Boom, you go to middle school, you learn about grades. You trying to get straight A's. High school, you trying to get that GPA right. Why? Because you trying to get into college. College, you trying to study in the right career path so you can get a what? Degree. From the age of 5 until you graduate college, people are teaching you how to work for money.
Right.
Yes.
Facts.
That's just, it's exactly what it is. In fact, in 1903, the Rockefellers donated $129 million to the Board of Education because they said they want a community of workers. Listen to me.
Oh yeah.
Education
Them motherfuckers.
is teaching us how to go work for somebody, right?
Yes, exactly.
They
Instead
try to
of
teach us.
doing it for your own, they
Yeah,
took
that's
over. That donation was
The
on
framework,
purpose.
the framework around what education was going to look like. It was
Right.
like, bet, education needs to teach motherfuckers to come work for my companies.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it did, right? So, okay. Well, I got this game in 18, and we'll talk about it in a little more detail, but I'm like, yo, you know, somebody posed this question to me. I said, Rev, would you rather work for money or learn how to make money work for you? It's a rhetorical question, is it not?
I'd rather work for money. I would let money work for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, why would I, you know, I never in my life until 2020 made money without actually physically doing something to make money. Whether it was punching in a clock, walking into a classroom. You know, I was a finance manager at a car dealership. I hated that job, but my big bro put me on, so I had to fuck with it for a second. I hated it because I'm not a sales guy. I'm a teacher. And so the finance game put me on to teaching or to learning about how money works. So I'm like, yo, let me bypass all this Pythagorean bullshit that niggas don't need, and let me start teaching my community what they can really do with. Listen, $25. If you got $25, let's start having a conversation about how making $25 get pregnant looking like $30, and then make $30 get pregnant looking like $42, and then making $42 get pregnant. You dig? What does that look like in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years?
Right.
What kind of legacy does that create for your family? That's how my brain started to think, and so I immersed myself, man, into the investment world, the insurance world. I got licenses, and you know, I just went through the process of like, I need to learn this shit and learn how to monetize it.
Yes.
Because if I can, right, what would that look like for my community? What would that look like for my family? And what would that look like for me?
Exactly.
So that's really what that's what my mindset was when I leveraged what I learned as a teacher. Because by the way, teaching is a fucking skill.
Yeah, sure.
It's hard to teach motherfuckers, especially if they don't want to learn that shit. Like, why do I need to learn Pythagorean theorem, Mackey? Mr. Mackey, I don't want to, you know, I want to learn how to get chicks. You know, and the kids in class, like, you know, because I used to wear J's every day. I have a shoe collection. I own about 400 pair of J's I've been collecting since high school. I'm petty when it comes to J's.
I hear you.
But that's how I used to get the kids to like buy in. But I was like, if I can get these kids to learn some shit they don't want to know, I'm pretty sure I can get my community to want to get up on game on some shit they need. And so that's what really got me into the finance game. For 4 years, I was working for an insurance agency. Taught me a ton about money, taught me a ton about recruiting, taught me a ton about leadership development, taught me how to read, taught me how to articulate a concept and turn it into a real life, you know what I'm saying, a movement, and taught me how to mobilize. And so I said, okay, if I learn these skill sets for the next man, then what's the progression say? I should do what next?
You should teach yourself.
I should do this shit for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm over here, you know, we did $1 million in business in back-to-back years for somebody else's company. And I said, if I could do that for somebody else, why can't I do that for me? You know what I'm saying? And so that's really what put me in a position to say, I don't know on my own. You know what I'm saying? I want to be an urban entrepreneur. Like, why am I rocking this man flag and his brand? You know what I'm saying? Gang for him. Like, let me gang for me, my children. And so 2021, my wife and I made a decision to walk away from what we built. By the way, guys, we built what was probably $1 million empire. It was worth over $1 million. We said we're gonna start over from scratch because we want to build our own. Because he had authority over that business. It was ours, and we had some authority over it too. But
You want your own.
I wanted to have my own. And I wanted to be proof of concept to my people. Like, yo, if I could do it, you can do it.
Right.
And so, you know, that put us in a position where my main function today is I coach entrepreneurs on how to protect, save, and grow their money. Like, if you were to ask me what I do, that's what I do. I interact with people, whether you have your own business currently and you're looking at ways to be more efficient or to automate or to, you know, convert at a higher ratio or expand your business. We will look at your business and say, okay, how can we improve what you have? Or for an individual who says, I only have a job and I'm looking for a way to become an entrepreneur. What does that look like? How do I form an LLC? What does that even look like? What's an EIN? What's a tax ID? What is a W-9? You know what I'm saying? And walk them through the whole process of saying, to keep it a buck, being an entrepreneur is low-key easier than having a job and being on somebody else's stuff.
Right. What's up, Bree? What's up, Gerald? Brother White, what's happening?
Hey, what's
Thank
up,
y'all for
Pete?
tuning in. We got Farrell just came in.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Fro
What's
in
up?
the
Very
building.
inspirational words.
What's good with you?
Now, Mark Anthony wants to know what's harder, winning the national championship or teaching low-income people mathematics?
They own that national. They own the football, huh? They really own it. That's 24 years ago, y'all. I had hairline. I wasn't bald when we did that. I had waves. I had braids. I had hella long hair. Shit. That natty was something vicious. I'm gonna keep it $1.
Hey,
That Florida State team we beat. The hardest team we beat though wasn't Florida State. It was K-State. People sleep. Kansas State. I named 10 dudes who played in the NFL on that team, and they was dirty. They had, I'm like, yo, we in college, buddy, talking about, what's up, cuz? Cuz? Now, you know, we from the base, so we say blood and cuz. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
How things going, cuz? Woo. Nah, buddy was true blue. But when gang signs, I'm like, bro, we in college, my G. Like, you out here doing something. Get me fucked up, bro. Like, I'm trying to play football, he trying to fight me. Like, come on, man. K-State was studs. I'm keeping $1. K-State.
Now, a question I want to ask you in regards to the entrepreneur stuff, like you're saying, it's easier to teach people to be entrepreneurs than actually get a job. But what do you do when you encounter someone who wants to teach and everything, but the actual idea they have is like, that dog ain't finna hunt?
So for me, I would inquire. Like, I want to know, like, okay, what's the idea? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's process through what it is you have a vision towards, because there are many different ways to monetize a vision. We just have to figure out how to do it. You know, versus a job, you gonna sign a piece of paper that say, hey G, you gotta show up at 8. You get 10 days for PTO. You know what I'm saying? If your grandma died, we might let you get bereavement. Only it might be just your mama, your daddy, your brother, and your sister. Maybe grandma, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's idiot.
You did. It's
Real
immediate.
immediate, man.
Exactly.
Like, you gotta be next
It
door.
depends. You better have plug. So for me, it's like, okay, choose your heart. Because, right, life is hard. Guys, 83% of America is living check to check. Let's process that. Like, think about that. That's 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 of your homeboys, somebody finessing or they lying. Nah, bro, you got a fresh ass car, but your bank account is let me give you another number. 75% of America don't have 100 stacks to retire. Can you retire in the Bay with 100?
Hell.
With 100, can you retire?
They gotta relocate to Tupelo, Mississippi or something.
So you gonna work till you die.
Gotta go live in the county and
You gonna work till you die. You gonna continue to work. And the other number, guys, is 3 out of 4 Americans don't have $1,000 in a savings for an emergency. So your alternator go out, it's on credit cards, you borrowing money. You know, it's why you see 3 generations of people living in one house in the Bay. Like, that's normal.
Right.
Mama bought a house in the 80s for $90,000. That mother sucker, you in East Oakland, but it's $500,000. Niggas is getting shot on the block. Is folks selling fentanyl on you feel me, on the block,
Right.
but that's a $500,000 home, so nobody can afford to rent. So they kids is living with them, and they kids just had kids, so you got infants in the house, 24, 25, 26-year-olds in the house, making $20 an hour. They work at FedEx, or they substitute teaching, they doing something, but they can't afford to rent, so that everybody living in mama house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, choose your heart. Is that what you see for yourself, or are you an individual who wants to eventually have independence?
So can you take somebody who's, let's say, not, I don't want to say privy to higher education, but somebody with that FedEx job, and can you teach them how to get that $1,000 in the bank and that $500,000 to $1 million in retirement, or whatever the case may be, to legit survive? Is that possible, or?
It's hella possible. And don't let nobody tell you it ain't possible. Listen, there's a reason why they're not teaching us these concepts. This is a concept you can learn at 16. See, if you don't go, and my mama might hear this, so let me not get too cool. If you don't go and start fooling with a bunch of chicks, having a bunch of babies, getting a bunch of bad debt, and you get to the age, here's the age. The age is 25. If at 25 you have not ruined your life, you've lived enough life to know it ain't all bullshit or peaches and cream, and you ready to get to work. The problem is, by 25, here's what happens, guys. 60% of people go to college and never finish. But guess what they exercise while in college? Student loans. So guess what they have? Debt for a degree they never got.
I'm in that 60%.
It's 60%.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta look at the numbers. I have the numbers written down, but it's like 8 out of 10 college graduates don't even use the degree they went to college for. So you got a degree in math,
And you don't even
and you do some shit in something else. You know what I'm saying?
You fucking the delivery for Amazon.
You do a delivery for Amazon, right? So it's like, you know, when we looking at all the obstacles we're up against, the key, real, is like, how do we get people to not be distracted
Yeah.
by all the seduction of life
Yes.
and lock in on
Everywhere.
something? So
Everywhere.
here's where we start, right? Like, okay, how do I start down the path of financial? And I used to, we used to have a workshop called How Money Works, and everybody uses the term financial literacy. That's me.
Yeah.
Love. I don't talk about financial literacy. I talk about financial intelligence, right? Because we need to be financially intelligent when it comes to the money we make, how to protect our money, how to save our money, how to grow our money, and what are the tax implications that come with that whole process.
Right.
Listen, the most important piece in the wealth formula is time. You go talk to a group of men in their 40s, 90% of those gentlemen, fellas, is going to be like, yeah, I'm ready to, you tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. The obstacles they face are children, baby mama, debt, criminal record, right, driving record. They got a whole bunch of other shit.
And give the appearance of that they own.
You go have that same conversation with a 20-year-old, ain't had kids yet. He making $19 an hour, but think he ain't, he think his shit don't stink because he living in grandma's house, don't gotta pay rent, got a nice little whip, what was the Charger, the Challenger, you know what I'm talking about? They got some fresh custom daddies on, and they focus as they focus, they movement, and it ain't really teaching them about financial intelligence.
Right.
You give me a room of 20-year-olds, and we could change shit. Give me a room of 40-year-olds, and my first question I say is, hey, can you take 6 to 12 months to, number one, learn this game? Because it's a game. Don't get it twisted. White folk made the game. The Asian man came, learned the game, and the Indian man came over to America and adopted the game and took it to another level. They freaking it on a whole new level. In Union City in the 90s, and you know this, all my Indian homies was immigrants.
Yeah.
They own every fast food restaurant. They own all the liquor stores. Now the motherfucking city council, they own the school board, and the shout out, right? Because they played the game. And I'm like, we game goofy over here, and we still trying to rock Gucci belts. So
I don't shop at Walmart, but I could wear a Walmart though and it still holds your pants up. The point of it is, does it do what it's supposed to do? Fuck the cost.
But it's enfranchising. This is a but. And for people who are up on game, this is illogical but we also have to look at it from the aspect of, if you're sitting around and if you've come from abject poverty or you come from certain circumstances and you don't have someone who's going to give you the path to this financial intelligence, then the only things that you have then is your pride, your dignity. You're gonna try to walk the thing, but even if it's a fake one, you're gonna finance some J's. You're gonna have, my first car cost $300, man. The new iPhone costs $1,400. So to me, I'll be like, man, that's, even though I gotta have one, I gotta have a phone, but it's still, that's madness to me. And then I'm gonna see the youngsters signing themselves up for it and gotta hustle up the car note. So it's like, man, if those who gotta wear that Gucci belt, this and that, if only they could get access to someone like you.
Yes.
While they still young, they still got their strength. You know what people say? Oh, to get that first 100,000 is the hardest. Walk if you got to. Drive, work 2 jobs, do whatever you got to do to get that. If somebody could come along and let, as you're doing, but let the young people know, man, you can change. You can change the black community.
It's just like even a used car salesman. If he's trying to get you to buy that car, he gonna give you the game. oh, the car note is this. Man, you can afford that. All that means is
Skip
take your lunch, bring your lunch from work, from home.
Don't buy that cup of coffee.
Exactly. He's giving you the sauce.
Yeah.
You know, but what you doing is on a different level. But even a used car. Hey, I remember years ago when I bought a used car. He was in there telling me all kind of shit. And I'm like...
Hey, I worked at Fremont Ford for 4 years. And one of the things we always tell people is the bank ain't crazy, man. If they can approve you for this, then that means you can afford it. Don't listen to nobody else. The bank do this for a living. So if they approve you, you should have to go away. But if they approve you, then that means you can afford it. Let's go. Let's go.
Got approval for over $1 million. I was like, I'm not spending over $1 million. I'm not stupid. We worth over $1 million now.
Hey, salute.
Yeah.
But I can't always knock, the youngsters and some of the people coming up that are, they put these shows on, especially now with social media. You want to have, the designer, or you want to have the nicest car, the charger and everything. But sometimes we need people like you to, like he's saying, actually curb it. So it's okay to have that. Because I asked my uncle when I was a kid, when I was a young man, probably a teenager, I said, Unc, how come, these chicks go for, we was having a chick conversation, how come they go for the guys with the nice cars and this and that? And he said, it's success. Are you going to be mad at the girl because she wants somebody who looks successful?
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm trying to make is, at the end of the day, there's a difference. You can look like that, but at the end of the day, you got to go home and look in the mirror, and you got to, you got to deal with it. So that's what we need to convert people over who have that look, but they ain't got it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with looking like it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we want our people to make it. And that's why I appreciate having you on the show, because you dedicate time, which is something you can never get back. You're dedicating your time that you don't even have to show people that, man, you can actually make it. And that's why I asked the question about, can you have that Amazon job or that FedEx job or whatever it is? We pushing everything, so it don't matter how much you make and all that shit. That is what it is.
Right.
But can you really achieve the goals that you want to have in life that make you happy? Because some people want the big ass house on the hill, and some people just want the house down the street.
Yeah.
So.
But the youngsters is up against it now, because I be on the social media a lot all day, at the work, and I'm no insult to my sisters, but sometimes I see some of the youngsters call them mid, I'm going to say women who maybe not achieved their full attractiveness, standing there saying, if this dude don't make 100,000, if he don't do this, if he don't bring this to the table, then he's basically a scrub. So I know if I was a young man trying to be out there, even if I didn't make this money, I would do everything in my power to try to look like I'm fitting that. So like y'all was mentioning, social media is really got a lot of people's perceptions warped.
Watch this though. Let me keep it out. Let me. You right. I agree 100%. Two things. One, I want to advocate for my sisters. For all them chicks that's on that height, it's a whole bunch of good women out there that's just looking for a good man.
But them voices are getting amplified.
100%. Mm-hmm. And we got to do a better job of marketing that, because the narrative. I was having a conversation with my cousin. Josh Neal, he's social media famous. This Negro got 1.2 million followers on TikTok. I think he got a couple 100,000 followers. He verified on IG. He gets paid to post.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stupid handsome. Cuz killing. He went to Logan too. That guy's ass in the OU and his ass quit in a semester. This Negro. But what's interesting? Because he said on social media, black men and black women are consistently at odds. If you go in places like the Shade Room and all them other joints, you'll see we always beefing. But he said, the interesting thing is when we at festival at the lake, or we chilling in the town. Like, it's love. Like, I actually feel that too. Like, when I'm in my hood and I'm in Oakland, I'm at M2 Lounge or I'm at Horticulture, whatever I'm doing, I don't get that sense that as a people we leave as a riff, right? Like, I feel like it's a lot. Number one, it's a lot of folk winning. Eating, doing well, but number two is love. So I think that perception can turn into a reality if you don't get gamed up and know where you stand on it. If you don't have your own solid foundation, like I was at Logan. Okay, so I'm gonna bring back Logan up. 5,000 kids. Being popular at Logan was kind of like a big ass deal. And if you wasn't popular, you might have went down a deep, dark place and turned into something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might feel less of yourself. So as a teenager, I'm an adolescent, I'm going through Logan. My freshman year, I wasn't shit. At least I didn't think I was shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I got good in football, I got a little mustache, and you know what I'm saying, hit the waist a little bit, had a little, you feel me? I was like, okay, I'm somebody, but
shout out to Phil Handy, too. On the Logan's fine.
Hey, say that. But, how many people just lack the identity? Listen, the easiest way to trick a human being is to keep them ignorant. It's why slavery worked. It's why Jim Crow worked. It's why they didn't want us to vote. And I don't want to be standing in the soapbox like a radical, but I want us to understand, like, the reason most people that I wouldn't say most, but a lot of people that I work with never get past making $5,000 a month. You know why they make $5,000 a month? Because that's how much they need to pay their bills. Like people will work as far as they need to work to get to where they want to go. It's 10% who break through that 5,000, 8,000 a month and go make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Now look at some of the guys. Listen,
that's important.
We've helped people build $1 million businesses, and you would never guess that the person who achieved it, right? It's like, what's the common thread? You know what? More often than not, you know what it really is. You gotta. There's some things you gotta read. You gotta take care of your body. There's some certain aspects of life. You can't have a bad vice. You can't be having woman drama all the time. It's going to distract you from your business. But the number one thing is self-identity. When someone believes they deserve to win and going to put in the work to do what's necessary to win, more often than not, you're going to win.
Yes, sir.
It's more often than not, it's you who be like, I don't deserve to win, or you get distracted, or like your identity says, I am just a Gucci belt, fake Gucci belt, and some unauthentic person. So I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get that, and then I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Versus, you know what? Let me really understand what's happening. Let me put money to work for me. Let's talk about that. Like, how do you put money to work for you? When I sit down with people, I did a workshop Saturday at Bret Hart Middle School in
Shout out Bret Hart.
Shout out Bret Hart.
That's my alumni.
You went to Bret Hart?
I went there for a semester.
We used to beat that ass when I was at King. We used to beat that ass. But so look, I'm with teachers, principals, some community parents, or some deltas in it. I love DST. Shout out to the DST.
Shout out to the devastating dealers, the Reds.
they was in the building. Thick.
Love Sharifa.
They was thick. And so we in this thing, and I'm like, yo, when you think investing, what do you think? So let's ask y'all. Boom, I want to invest some money. What do you invest in?
Stock market.
Stock market. Boom, that's the easy one. What's the other one, Real?
Real estate.
Real estate. What else?
Well, nowadays people get into that crypto and stuff.
That's market. Let's just call it the market.
Okay.
Forex, crypto. You feel me? Those are all different markets. You high risk, high reward. Real estate, right? You own an asset, but until you get into the investing market, real estate is a fucking liability.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Your mortgage is your biggest liability. It's an asset too,
every month.
Especially in the Bay, it's an asset. But don't pay that money 3 times to see what happens.
Yeah.
I own my house.
You own the house, you own the land.
You did, right?
So
it's like, okay, but like where, like, I just asked 3 intelligible black men, like, yo, what do you invest? And you say real estate and stock market. Like, that's fucking it. That's problematic. By the way, that ain't it. That ain't it. Y'all know.
I'm the first to admit my knowledge is very limited in that field.
Let me say y'all a couple things. Do y'all know places you can put your money and get 12% with 0 risk of losing $1, and you can get 12% compounding interest? Do y'all know there's places you can get your money where every year you will get what's called a dividend, which means they're gonna give you bread. Like, hey, bro, here go $500, here go $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Here go $1,500, And with that joint, if you get sick, hurt, into an accident, some shit go down,
Insurance.
your shit gonna protect your ass.
Insurance.
And you gonna get 4 to 6%. Do y'all know there are places you can put your money in, and in 7 to 10 days that shit is liquid. It's liquid. So I got $50,000. I'm parking it in the bank because I'm flipping houses, and until I buy my next property, it's in the bank. What's the bank doing with your money when you put it in the bank?
They playing with your money.
What happened to Silicon Valley Bank? Y'all know why
They just got hit because they didn't have enough capital from the investors to if 65% of the people in the bank want to come on that bank on any given day and say, I need my money. If the bank can't handle that, it's called a stress test. It means you failed, which means your shit is mine now.
Do y'all know what happened with them folks' money in that bank account? What their bank accounts? Do y'all know what the federal government doing for them?
They only insured them to $250,000.
Now they fixed it, bro.
FDIC insured.
Yeah, but
Federal
everything
government's giving everybody their bread back.
Yeah, now they
Because
got
As a whole, the industry sector would collapse
100%.
without
$61 billion, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The point is this.
So I got the CDs.
You finna have the last of us for
What
real.
are we talking about?
So, by the way, CDs is sexy again.
Mhm.
CDs are sexy as of 6, 7, 8 months ago because interest rates went up. When interest rates go up, they're sexy. What was your CDs giving you 18 months ago? Were you in CDs 18 months ago?
I've been in them a long. I haven't looked. I that's something where I just put my money in there and I leave it.
Give me some money and don't look at it. Let me hold your shit for about 5 years and don't look at it. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you 2%. Look, when you're building your financial home, and this is just kind of like some takeaway games, right? So the first thing you want to do is this is what wealthy people do. Let's talk about what wealthy people do. Wealthy individuals, when they're building their financial home, they say, okay, I want to have 3 major components to my house. Number 1 is I want to have a strong foundation. What's the difference between rich and wealthy?
Mindset.
Elaborate. Which one would you prefer to be, rich or wealthy?
I'd rather be wealthy.
I would be wealthy.
Tell me why.
Well, because rich can
might
win.
still be hustling, but
Rich, I
wealthy
got the
is-
lottery. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Wealthy is I fucking understand the money.
Right.
That's the definition of wealthy. You obtain wealth because you understand it, right?
Yeah.
So wealthy people say the first thing I want to do is maintain what I have, right? So as a dad, I have a son and 3 daughters. I want to make sure my son and 3 daughters don't have to deal with what I had to deal with when I was a kid. So I'm already on that, right? All right, so we've accumulated some wealth. I can't fuck this shit up. The first thing I can't do is I can't go buy 500 Gucci belts. I can buy one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna buy one. I got one. But, okay, so what that means is I gotta protect the seed that I've built. So how do I do that? Right? Boom. You have a 401k, you go through a divorce, what happens?
She gets half.
Boom. You got 150,000 in the bank. You get a divorce. What happens?
She gets half.
Boom. You making 50,000 a year, and you get a girl pregnant. What happens?
You're paying for more than 18
You got 18
years.
up to 23 years if they go to college, right?
Actually, remember, your kids are your kids for life, so they always gonna need something.
Uncle Sam gonna be in your pocket.
Exactly.
He's gonna be in your business. I know that. I'm a statistic to that.
Yeah.
My point is, wealthy people say, I'm not putting my money in that shit. Why would I put my money in a place where if life don't go as I planned it, somebody else is subject to taking my stuff?
Exactly.
Baby mama, ex-wife, Uncle Sam, court system. Wealthy people say, I'm putting my money in a place where there is protection.
Living trust.
A living trust, right? An insurance policy, and a
Insurance,
municipal bond.
exactly.
There are places you can put your money where it's untouchable, and
fuck
now it's earning interest. 2%.
Prime example, chime in, OJ's money.
Where was OJ? Do you know where he put his money?
He put it up where they can't fuck with it.
Where was it? Do you know? Y'all know where it
I
was?
don't know how it was.
It was in insurance.
Yeah, insurance.
OJ Simpson had $21 million in insurance, and when they came and took all his assets, guess what they took? All them assets, guess what they couldn't
Couldn't
take?
fuck with
They
that.
couldn't touch that $21 million.
Mm.
Cold game, right?
Yeah.
But that's what, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
But my point is, number one is, if I got $100, I need to make sure I never have less than $100.
Right.
Like, that's the game we need to stop being like, when I get to 100,000, nah, bro, you at 100, the level you at, there's a devil for your level right now. There's a new level there's a new devil for your new level, but the level you at, there's a devil. The reason you'll never make it to a stack is because you don't know what to do with 100.
Right.
When you got $100, that $100 will pay you $5 free if you don't finesse it, mess it up, go do something stupid. Why? It's biblical principles. Like God said, I ain't gonna bless you with abundance if I can't bless you with one mustard seed. So why would I give you $1,000 if you can't even take $50 and not just run to the club and buy drinks to flex?
For everybody, for no reason.
And your bank account is on.
I didn't get no burn. Come here, baby.
Hey, you swiping like, please go through, but you look fresh at the club, like you literally live for that
Fans of being
exorbitant.
owned is an addictive drug that so many people have it in their veins, like old school dope. They're all the new dope fiends,
It is.
attention fiends,
It's 100%.
and they do everything to, not just for social media, for the people in their circle. Everybody want to do the big me, little you thing, and you fucking off capital. It's just like we've always talked. And I tell people, if I give you $1 million, you'll act one way. But if you earn your $1 million, you're gonna do everything. And unless you got the, and not saying that there's no absolutes. Only a Sith believe in absolutes. I'm a Jedi.
I'm Team Jedi too, bro. I'm Team Jedi.
But you earn your $1 million, you don't treat it different because you went through all the stages to get there. So you have those scars, because remember, scars build character, and you don't lose. They're just lessons. We never lose, even if your heart half gone. No, you just got 50% less. It's not a loss. It's still gonna pump. It's still gonna work. You just got a gap. There are no short-necked giraffes in this world.
Evolution. Evolve. You gotta grow. Like
You got
said.
to. And to the point is, the game, like Parker Brothers, is sold. It used to be mouth to ear amongst those bureaucrats and aristocrats who kept everything over us and used the blood, sweat, and tears off our backs to make billions and trillions, i.e. the Rockefellers, the families that y'all be scared to mention their names, and all them people who control all this and that. Believe me, there's a blueprint. All you got to do is look at it and follow it. But we get so distracted on, I gotta look good for the gram. I gotta be having hella bitches. I gotta be having, and I ain't knocking the polyamorous life. Y'all do that shit. Do what you do. Do what work for you. But do it within reason and make sure the goal is to succeed. And like you said, be wealthy, not rich. Because rich can be taken from you in a hand's breath. You get that at 3 in the morning.
Can I get some game real quick?
Go for it.
Everybody game. This is everybody game. This is some everybody game. Whatever you make. By the way, let's just say I'm 24. I got a kid with a baby mama. We ain't even together. I didn't graduate college, so we in the Bay. So I can can I make $23 an hour? I don't need to have a college degree to make 23. So I'm making 23. I've been at FedEx for 5 years. They pay me $24.95, $23.95, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I tell people, I said, listen. It's funny you brought this up. I said the hardest money to make is your first 500. The hardest, when you put money into a vehicle where money starts to work for you, the hardest thing to do is to get to the $500 because you don't have the discipline. So I tell people this, it's twofold. I said, if you have the means, we sit down and we do a financial conversation, and I do a consult on your finances. What Forbes magazine says is 20% of your money should go towards retirement for at least 30 years for you to retire properly. Well, we all know, folk ain't got 20%. Folk is living with their mama because they ain't got it, right? They make 40% of what they need, so they got a posse up. Okay. But it's two numbers. It's $50 or it's 20% of your discretionary income. So, well, Mac, I don't have no discretionary income. Perfect. So we need to find another way to make money work for you. Right? If you work 8 to 5 at a job, doesn't it make sense to put yourself in a position where money could work for you?
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, so what does that look like? Like you said, it might be shit. It might be Uber at first. You might have to jump in your car, Uber for 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, but you create that discipline, create that muscle memory, because at the end of the day, you got to start somewhere. And I tell most guys, in the Bay Area, it's about $200. If you're younger than 30 and you learn how to put $200 first into the bank and watch that money just sit there, and I hate banks. I have one fucking bank account. Just FYI. I have one. That's it. And my wife and I share it. My money is not in the bank because the bank they don't work with my. They don't pay me nothing. We are game goofy for putting our money in the bank. Our money is everywhere but the bank. You start putting $200 into an account. And then the first thing you want to do is say, I'm 30, I want to guarantee when I'm 60 I don't have to work. That's the first box you want to check. At any age younger than 30, there are 5, 10 different places I can put my money and I won't have to work after age 60. They just not marketing that shit to me because they want me to work until I'm 90.
Right.
Understand? By the way, it's free. There's a building in San Francisco called the Transamerica Building. They want our business.
Yeah.
They want. Do you know what they do? Do you guys have any idea what their function is?
I don't.
They are an insurance and investment company.
Yeah.
They will take your money with no additional cost, and a professional will sit down with you and say, "Help me, hey, Mr. or Mr. Transamerica. I want to in 30 years be in position to have $500,000. Help me." Do you know they would do the work for you?
Yeah, I didn't.
Financial literacy is important.
They will do the work for you. By the way, they're going to get paid a commission.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to get paid to do it. That's what they get paid to do. Right? But they in Walnut Creek, they in Black Hawk, they in Concord the hood now.
Yeah.
They in different. Remember when Concord used to be the one? So look, guys, if I'm in the Bay, the typical thing I say to people is, can you put $200 away into an account? Nah, I can't, Mac. Okay, well, we got to start with $50. There's no excuse for you not to be able to come up with $50 unless you are unemployment. And if you are unemployed, we got to find you gainful employment.
Yes.
We got to find you a way to feed your family. Because if I can teach you how to take $200 and put it into an account, I can teach you how to make $1 million in 15 years. Like straight up. The biggest issue is most people don't have the discipline to say, I got to go to Vegas for spring break. My kids' Christmas, this is what we do for Christmas. On Christmas, we spend 5 stacks. We go get the tree, we buy our presents, we
All
like,
by
you know what I'm talking about?
Commercialism have
School shopping? My kids gotta wear, you feel me? Like, really?
They gonna have what I didn't have.
Right.
My kids, listen, y'all, my kids go to Target, sometimes Walmart. I'm looking on Amazon. Like, yo, my son want to play soccer. By the way, I buy my son fresh shoes. I can't. I can't do my son like that. You gotta have some fresh shoes. Put them motherfuckers on to play soccer. I'm whooping them behind. But he rocking some regular daddies to go to school. He want to play soccer. He want to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to do in the 4th, 5th grade. So we have to change our identity and how we look at money and be more intelligent because, guys, money is nothing but a freaking tool.
Facts.
If Gen X and Gen Ys who did not go to college and get themselves in debt were weirdos in high school and didn't have girlfriends so they didn't fall under the thumb of, bullshit with women, and now all of a sudden they learn some automation and little technology, now AI is out, the motherfuckers is millionaires. Because they don't got the other distractions. They 23, 24, 25 years old, and they learn one freaking skill. It ain't like they geniuses. They learned how to do one skill, and they monetize it and they duplicate it. So,
yes.
When it comes to money, man, I just look at it and I say, damn, we game goofy. But I think it's also the trajectory of us, our moms and dads. I would say everybody here is 35 and up, minimum. All we knew was go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. Go get a college degree. Go get a job where you got benefits. Fuck them benefits. Guess what the benefits benefit? The most.
The beneficiary.
The company. When companies offer you a 401k.
I said it wrong, but the company gets.
When a company offers you a 401k, you know what they get?
They only match. Well, it depends on how much they match.
What do they get though?
Oh, they have the. Well, but here's the thing, which I know because I'm in a position where I can speak on it. My company matches 6% on 401k.
That's really good.
I put in damn near 18%.
Help me understand why.
I'm sitting.
See, you ought to be in trouble.
No, I get it. So one of the things that somebody says, if the company only putting 6 in, you need to only put 6 in your damn self.
That's what I do. They give me 8, I put 8. I do the.
I get it.
The rest.
So it depending on me watching, I may bounce some, I may go up. I do the hopscotch, double dutch, ready to get in. I play cool. I'm good. Now, have I taken some tanks with this economy, COVID, and all the shit that happens? Yeah, but you already know I work for a multi-billion-dollar company, so I'm good. But I'm just saying.
So is the additional going towards stock in your company, like you have as
I put stuff in different spots.
Okay.
Because if you invest in too much in your spot, you cutting your own throat, because their job is to, okay, as a worker, putting in too much money into your company, because I'm union, I'm a vice president. So the changes that the company wanted.
Union?
Yeah.
What union? I'm sorry.
CWA. Communication workers. So as
you got pension and all that shit. So
yeah.
He different.
Yeah.
You a unicorn.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was pensioned as an educator. It's
Yeah.
different for the educators and
invested in all that. 26 years.
So you got a different level of
Understand.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes me understand. Okay.
So putting too much money in your company, and when the company is going in a different direction, as an employee, the things that the company may do that affects your right now, livelihood, whatever, the things they're trying to take away is one thing, but as an investor, it's a double-edged sword, because you're like, well, I want the stock price to go up. But the things that you want to happen are detrimental to you in the long run, in simple man's terms.
So you have a pension and you have a supplemental 401k.
Yes.
So the pension is vested, years of service, the whole nine, right? So
Yeah.
very simple. Okay, cool. So you're in control of that. Does anybody know the difference between a pension and a 401k? I'm sure you know. But do you guys know the difference?
If you could clarify a little bit, I'd appreciate
You want
it.
layman's terms?
Yeah.
Layman's terms. Here it is. You ready? A pension is company funded. A pension says you work for me. And let me just give you layman's terms. 10 years, I'll give you 25% of your average income over those 10 years. 20 years, I'll give you 50% of your average over those 20 years. 25 years, I'll give you 75% average. Generally, 30 years, you're fully vested. Sometimes substantially less. But like, if you fully vest in a company, they will pay you your salary, your average salary, for the rest of your life. Pension equals income for life. So like my mama, 40 years ago, Pacific Bell, which was bought by SBC, which was bought by AT&T, pension.
Exactly.
Guess what they give today? A fucking 401k. You know why they give a 401k? Because guess who funds it? Who funds the 401k?
You fund
You
That's
fund
self-funded.
it. You don't even have to, but there ain't no income for life component. It's a pot of money that there are some rules, right? 401k says this: you fund this tax deferred, so Uncle Sam don't tax you today, but he gonna tax you tomorrow.
Yeah.
At age 59 and a half, you have
IRA.
access to this money. Roth IRA.
Roth
Roth
IRA.
IRA. At age 59 and a half, you have access to this money, but at age 70 and a half, nigga, I need my bread. This is literally Uncle Sam saying, at 70 and a half, if you haven't pulled money out, I ain't got taxes on you for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
I need to
Need
get bread,
something.
bro. They call what they exercise is called an excise tax. They force you to take distribution so you can get paid this money.
You got to start taking
Right?
it out.
So who's in control of that account?
They are.
Everybody say not you. You're not in control of it. Pension, you're in control of. Every year I work, I go up one more step, they're going to give me a little more bread. Every 10 years I work, they're going to give me a higher percentage. So if you work longer, you're incentivized to stay at that company. That's why he's been there 26 years. 401k, people change jobs every 3 years now.
Right.
Because it's personal funded, right? So what I'm saying is, pension, have at it. 401k, this is my recommendation. You know how you live. 401k, take the free money. I ain't giving y'all a dollar outside of that. Why would I give you a dollar outside of a program that I can't touch till I'm 59 and a half or I'm going to be penalized? If it's doing hella good, I can't not touch it. You're going to tax the shit out of me if I'm 70 and a half. And then if the market tank, my mom lost $100,000 2 years before she retired in 2010. She retired in 2012. 2010, she lost $100,000 from her supplemental 401k at Pac Bell. It was AT&T at the time. And it's like, damn, what you worked 20 years to fill that. She had $500,000 in there. She retired with $400,000.
I can relate.
Ain't that you lost $100,000, bro? In a year?
I can relate.
Oh, I don't want to know.
I'm there.
But
That's what I work for.
oh, what? You worked from Pac Bell?
Yes.
Spear Street in San Francisco?
Nah.
My mom was on Spear Street in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll salute, bro.
That's what I said. I can relate. Yeah.
So that's my mama's story.
Yeah.
And I watched that happen. And when I first broke into the business, I helped her roll her money over. And I saw the account say 515, and we rolled over 378. You feel me? So I was like, okay, bet, Mom, I gotta teach people to put money in places where you have control over.
Yeah.
Because there are places, gentlemen, where you can put your money, and I don't want to be like covert. You can put your money in insurance. You can put your money in interest-bearing bank accounts through Fidelity. They're fucking free. They'll give you 2.78 on your money, and it's liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you put your money in Bank of America? They're giving you 0.05%. By the way, that's 5/100ths of 1%. That's not 5/10.
Yeah.
But
$1,000 and you're only getting a nickel.
Nothing.
why would I do
Get
that?
that.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And for us, we got to be more financially intelligent to say, the first thing we just need to say is, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit in the room with
That's a
50
big
people.
thing, though,
It
because
is.
a lot of our people are scared to say, even when you think you own, like, I know people that, you know, got the doctorates and all the shit, but they still are afraid to say, hey, I need help. Like, I need to go, like, you know, so that's a big thing.
It was me. I got a degree in finance. Man, I'm a high school principal. Man, I make $1.50. The niggas was like, yeah, you got I put all this money in my 401k. I had this going, that going, and I was like,
Subject to the market.
I really don't have no control over this.
You
Some
subject
shit
to the
happened.
market.
I really can't do much. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I was 37. So I had to just say to myself, like, I need to humble myself. And I need to treat this like I treated high school, like I treated college. I thank God that I was a astute student when I needed to be. And I said, I need to learn this business, because being in the business of money can literally change your genealogy. And not being in the business, not the business of understanding money. Not being in the business of understanding money will keep you in generational curses.
Right.
And when you know that, guess whose fault it is? It's on you. Like, I can't be like, I didn't know no, I knew better. So I said, okay, let me learn this game, and let me frame it in a way where it's not salesy. Let me teach people. Let's teach people and let people make decisions for themselves.
Bro, what's the name of your company, bro?
Yeah.
Well, so I
So I can put
coach.
it in the comments.
Here we go. Anyway, I'm affiliated with a company called TRS, Trinity Retirement Solutions. That is an investment insurance company. TRSnow.com. You can see it on the internet. That's our website.
TRS Now?
TRSnow.com. My primary function is to coach people to making wiser decisions with their finances and teaching people how to get themselves rolling in entrepreneurship. I don't write policies. I don't sit with people on plans. What I will do is connect with people. My wife does, and she's one of the very best in the Bay Area. She's done a ton of business, but like, I got to tell people, like, I don't want you to feel like what I have to say, I have an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I did this workshop at Hayward, and by the way, they wanted me to come. I think I'm going to Santa Rita in 3 weeks to speak to it's the women's part. I'm like, I'm in, because these young ladies gonna get out of here and they need to understand what kind of decisions they need to make around money. And remember that they ain't paying me $1. It ain't about the bread, it's about the enlightenment and providing access to our community. It may be for them, it may be too late, because, by the way, you do know criminal history excludes you from a lot of ways to invest money. You do know that, right? If you have a criminal history, which, by the way,
you can't become a stockbroker, you can't become a bunch of things.
You can't get a license for it. Hey, you can't get a license
no
for
FCC, no a bunch of shit.
You can't get, by the way, you can
SEC, none of that.
Teacher, firefighter, you name it, right?
You become a slave to the system.
You got to go work for somebody. That's what and so as black people, we got to understand, like, legislature matters, right? When you get stopped by 5-0 and you got tree in the whip, or you hella high, or whatever hype you on, like, bro, you just killed your dreams 5 years from now when you do grow up and get mature, because that's going to be standing in the way of your ability to wiggle how you want to wiggle.
Right.
And you don't think that's intentional. You don't think that's institutional racism. You don't think that's by design.
Very much so.
100%.
I got a family member that's a nurse, and when she was 18, her mother was selling drugs. Police ran in the house.
She was 18.
She was 18. Her mother was selling drugs.
Right.
She actually had stopped by to tell her mom I'm going out for the night. and the police ran in the house, and they had her mother in handcuffs, and she was crying because your mother. She said it wasn't hers, it was mine, and the police said okay, and they put the cuffs on her. She ended up getting time served. That was in days when back in the late 80s, early 90s, they would arrest you for possession of drugs, and then at the arraignment say, if you plead guilty right now, you can go on home. And then don't get in no trouble, come back in 6 months and we'll get rid of it. Of course, when you come back in 6 months, nobody told you that, and now you are a convicted felon, even though you did a day in jail. 30 years later, as a nurse, every time her license goes up for renewal, she has to write these, she has to send in her criminal history, she has to write these epic letters with character references and everything like that, and then wait for the board to say,
we fuck with you or we don't
okay.
fuck with you.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for something that happened basically about 4 or 5 days after her 18th birthday, and now she's about to turn 50, and she didn't even have a life of being a criminal just at that moment. You'll do anything to save your mama.
Of course.
Well, 30-some years later, she's still suffering from that, and I can only imagine if she would have been an actual criminal, she would have never even been able to even get into that field, which is a field that she loved. In fact, for the first 10 years after that, she didn't even try it because people were saying, you're a felon, you can't get in. But then she went to the school, she got her bachelor's and stuff like that. Some prominent people wrote letters on her behalf, and they said, okay, we're going to prove you, but with what's called a character deficiency, which means that if something would have happened that would give a normal nurse a reprimand or a suspended or something like that, her license would be revoked. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when you go to other places, and at first you can only really work at convalescent, these type of hospitals, because when you go to where people say, oh, out the bay to Kaiser's paying $80 an hour, but they come in, oh, you got a character deficiency.
That takes
now you over here, while these other nurses make $80 an hour, you over here making $30 an hour.
You go back over here to Jim Kick Willie's Rehabilitation Center,
right,
and work with these athletes,
right. And that's just the crazy thing. So it's a beautiful thing you going up to the Santa Rita to speak, but I also understand what you're saying but that also goes back to what you said earlier. If you can make it to the age 25 and you ain't fucked your life over, you could be good. But man, making it to 25,
that ain't easy, man.
Without
25 this year,
without a felony or some type of arrest record or something like that,
Very difficult. Yeah. It's very difficult. By the way, I write those letters. That story you just told me, because one of our businesses requires you to get licensed to the state. And in order to get licensed to the state, you have to go through a commissioner. And if you have any type of criminal history,
live scan, all that.
You have to have these letters written. In fact, we gotta write one for a woman. She is, I don't know, she's not, I don't know what she does. Whatever the case may be, we're literally going through that process right now. Very unfortunate, but it's the game we play. We gotta know the game, though. Like, we need to know what the pieces are on the chessboard so that we not game goofy.
Exactly.
Because ignorance is bliss and it don't matter.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And paying back to even the 401k situation, like even with certain 401ks with companies, a certain 401k, whether it be Fidelity or whatever, depending on your company, the main 401 company, I'm gonna use Fidelity for example. Disclaimer.
Those are big dogs.
But they have access to 100,000. I'm just using an arbitrary number for you people that don't know, of different possibilities. But based on your employer's 401k plan, they may say, well, we only giving access to 3,000 of those opportunities. So you also got to realize the game within the game. And
cold part about is many of us don't even know it's a game until it's too late.
Right. Because I'm, like I said, this year 26. I've been putting coins away before then, but this way for 25 and plus more. So, and you know me, we sit here, we chop it up. I tell cats, and it's like you said, it's mouth to ear. You got to teach people, and people got to get it. They got to want to do it. That's the first part. They gotta want to do it. You gotta have the discipline to want to go through everything you're gonna go through. It's, hey man, we can go to the club and do big bottles and we can, and man, you know something? Every time you go outside, just think of it costing you $200 at a minimum.
What it does.
Or we could go to Costco. Get the same bottle for $40.
Why I gotta be in the VIP section with a $40 bottle paying $400 for the bottle? I'll pay $400 for a real $400 bottle, and it's on my bar. And y'all know I got that's another story.
When it comes down to that financial literacy, I remember in my 20s when I got my first real job. I was working for Southern Health. I was up at Alta Bates, okay, and somebody said you need to go talk to the financial representative. So I go over there to talk to the dude, old white dude, talk to me like I was retarded. I was in my ego, and I didn't like to feel like I don't know shit, like going back what you said, pride.
Yeah.
So I walked off like, man, fuck you. I stayed there for 10 years. I never got I used to get these letters saying, you know, 15,000, 20,000, and I was like, well, I never signed up for this shit. So I thought it was saying if you would have signed up, this is how much money you would have. Fast forward to 10 years later, I leave and I go to work for Nationwide.
Yeah, your 401ks and whatnot
So
follow
here's
you.
the thing, I never signed up for nothing. Because I walked off because dude hurt my feelings. I was in my 20s, dude hurt my feelings. He made me feel dumb. And I had this complex, old white man talking down to me, man, fuck you. I go work for Nationwide. I get this letter, and I had quit opening up the letters because I thought it was hypothetical. Like, oh, if you would have opened up the letter.
What, publisher sweethearts?
and it say like 46,000, and it's like, dude, what do you want us to do with this, with your money? You want us to roll into something else? I'm like, So I called them. This is how unfinancial analysts get. And I said, hey, I never signed up, and I said, yeah. And they said, oh, well, because of people like you, what they do is with the employer contribution, if you don't sign up, the employer still puts their part in, so you can't come back later and say, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
What do you want us to do with the money? Do you want us to roll it to something else, or do you want us to send it to you with like a huge tax hit? Isn't that? But that's how, in my 20s, that's how financially, we're not going to use financial literacy, but that's how financially illiterate I was, that I was so embarrassed by what I didn't know, and my pride kicked in, that I wasn't even sitting there willing to even be educated, because dude hurt my little ego.
Right.
And then I floated at this job for 10 years, not building anything towards the future. And they was like, well, man, we kicked in our part anyway. What you want us to do with this? You want us to send you a check? You want us to roll into something? But I can say from personal experience that I was wildly, still not very logical, but I was wildly lost with money. And in my particular family, I'm probably one of the most savvy cats. So I can only imagine where my cousins, my aunties and all them, I can only imagine where they was at. You know, when we mentioned about that cycle, man, I was so deep into that cycle. Man, I was probably damn near 40 years old before I started realizing, oh man, I got to make some moves. I got to do some things.
I tell you, and the blessing of having some people mouth to ear, when I started, I was 22.
I didn't have a single person in my family that I could discuss these things with.
22, no kids, no outstanding debt, except for a couple of credit cards, minimal, when I went to Frisco City College.
You went to City College?
Yeah, Frisco City, I just went to go.
You went to City College too?
Yeah, I went to Frisco City.
You went to City College? Oh, you went to, yeah.
I went just to go. It was, it was just something to do. So I'm 22 when I started with the company. Like I said, a whole lot thinner, and was ganged up. Like shit, and got these benefits and this. And when I'm like, my grandmother still alive to this day, and still owns her home. Worked in the city for the Tribune. My grandmother retired in the 80s. Still alive to this day. Still owns all her shit, everything. And retirement, because see, here's the thing. Is exactly why when you look at as a whole what's happening with corporations and how they're trying to make pensions and shit insolvent and these things, because people are living longer.
That's what it is.
That's the issue.
Social Security too, brother.
Exactly. So to the average person who isn't putting their money in these different pockets or these different venues, I'll use that term, like we talking about, they're subject to only Social Security, which probably won't be here by the time you need it, because you got Sleepy Dude in the White House with the non-black chick underneath him giving money to another country.
Billions. Not money, billions.
While they're playing Tetris with your fucking livelihood. But that's another story. But you'll get that at 3 in the morning.
Now, here's how I look at it, though, bro. Keep it a buck. Like, we all have the wherewithal to take control ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get support, if there's some type of assistance, or like my mama gets Social Security, and I'll tell you a crazy story about it. My mom retired at 53 from from AT&T.
30 years, I could be 52 and walk away.
So my mom walked away at 53, right? She lost some money on the way out. She got her pension set up. She had she had her pension, which was different. That pays her bread. She had her 401k. She lost $100K. That was paying her bread. She got a job as a bookkeeper with my uncle. So she left the high pressure of her place and then was doing what she wanted to do on her terms.
Right.
But you know, she got out the game and was like, okay, what am I going to do next? Right? Like what's next for me? Well, my mom did not have financial literacy. She just came up in a time when pensions were available. She got the game of go to school, get good grades, get a good job. So she invested in her 401k. So she had these vehicles available to her. But my mom hit 66, and she was like, babe, or son. My mom called me Damian. Dang, I think I qualify for Social Security. I had just gotten into the money game. And I was like, okay, Mom, so I helped her fill her paperwork out. Boom, she's 66 years old. It's 2019. Nah, she's 70 now, so that would have been 4 years ago. So it's 2019. She submits her paperwork. What happens? What do y'all think happened?
They said she make too much on the pension.
Nah, because If you put your money in, they're gonna give you your bread. If you make the contribution, if you pay your taxes, they're gonna give you your bread. She submitted at 66. She submitted her paperwork. They said, "Oh, this motherfucker's 67 now." So she turned 66. They pushed the age up.
Yeah, they pushed the age up.
I remember I was a little kid. My grandfather turned 62, and that was the. You know, when I was
62,
62.
Then it was 65.
My mama turned 67 the next year. Listen, she turned 67 the next year.
So she had to pay the penalties.
She submitted her paperwork. She submitted it. What y'all think happened?
They moved to 69 or something.
67 and a freaking half.
Wow. Yeah, they moved. They keep. It's like
because
they keep moving the goal line.
Listen, pensions and Social Security is a federal funded pension plan.
They have to fund
it. So Social Security means when you qualify for that money, you get it till you die.
Yeah.
It made a ton of sense in 1955 when life expectancy was 68.
Right.
Retire at 62.
Right.
6 years later, you die.
Exactly.
Niggas is vegans and
healthy.
You got centurions now. They live to 100.
Yes.
Imagine a system that has to pay you 25 years after you made them $1. You think that makes sense for
Well,
companies?
let me ask you this. Now, I remember when it was 62 when I was a kid.
Yep.
Then I remember when they moved it to 65, but they said you could still retire at 62, but you get less money.
Right.
Or you won't get the proper amount unless you wait to 65. If you get 62, you just get.
You can, if depending on the year of vesting, and by the way, Social Security is not my game, but I deal with a lot of people. My mama could have got it at 66 or 66, but she wouldn't have got her full money. But she hit all the years.
She'd have paid the penalty.
So she's like, why would I take $400 less?
Yeah.
Just on some hype. Y'all know, I did my 30
Exactly.
years.
I did my time. Let me free.
She said, I'm gonna wait because she didn't need the money.
Right.
She wanted the full deal.
But most people ain't in that
Love is
position.
saying they talking about pushing it to 69.
Oh, it's
moving.
That's what I say. Don't worry about it.
They're always moving the goalposts. Just like with a lot of companies and whatnot now, it's the rule of 75. Your age and your years of service got to equal 75.
So what would you say is how do you get around that? What's the answer to that? How do you plan for that?
You got to start. So listen. There's a philosophy of control what you can control.
Because it could be 80 by the time
It will be.
there.
It will be. It will be. And you paying somebody else's shit today. Every month you pay somebody else's Social Security.
Right.
Which is, I ain't sweating, but can I eat too?
Yeah, you need it for when it's your turn.
Like the whole.
I'm only going to countries
when you got your first.
How that sound to you, love? That we not going to get into.
Lo used to work for me too.
Like every year,
that's
we're like, okay, I got 1 more year.
She worked
No,
for me too.
you got 2 more years.
You know,
Man, I'm just trying to drive through Congress, man.
But you wonder, but just like I'm gonna make reference to your joke exactly because of they keep moving the fucking goal line, the first down marker, the fucking first and the 4th and inches. Now it's fucking 4th and 15.
Yeah.
Now it's 4th and 30.
I was gonna go for it, but now I got to punt.
And no, you can't punt.
Yeah, this is the game of life. Ain't no punt.
Ain't no punt.
It can be 4th
Ain't no
and 60.
punt.
You still got to.
Hey, what game was that when there was no 4th down?
You better throw that
There wasn't no 4th downs. What was that Blitz? NFL Blitz? There wasn't no 4th down. Ain't no 4th down. You go for it. You score or it's a wrap.
How do we prepare for that? All serious.
Well, Love says, bottom line, don't depend on Social Security.
True.
Okay.
And you got to put yourself in a position to where you don't, because like you said, back in the day when these things were put in place, it was with the idea. It made sense for the times. The times we're in now, because people are retiring and living way longer. But as the part of the population, and I'm talking about us melanated because we're not black. That's first and foremost. The innovators, the move makers, the investment on us pays out more, but we cut ourselves short with everything we're doing.
Right.
Whether it's nigga on nigga crime, niggas putting themselves in positions to where, like you said, you get a arrest record, you get a something, you don't get to capitalize on the benefits that are your birthright. You don't capitalize on these things, so you leave the money on the table. Because, like I've said before, there's another thing that a lot of people may not be familiar with. More than, I want to say, 8 times out of 10, the company you work for has insurance on you. You may not be, and they're the beneficiary.
What's up, Chico?
Oh,
Chico,
it's so I own a company, and we have a group. I mean, it's billions of dollars.
Yeah, they have an insurance policy 100%. On you, and they're the beneficiary.
100%.
My company has an insurance policy 100%. On me.
Every union.
I have insurance. I have a few, but I'm just saying, my company I work for, I know for a fact has an insurance policy.
Yeah, but it's similar like if we go into business, we're gonna have a key man policy. I mean, because they're going to have
to. Like 20% of people, unfortunately. See, don't do that. That's my wheelhouse. Because I get it, keep that. You need to get it. If you own an LLC, a C corp, an S corp, even if you own it. I don't know about DBA. Maybe I don't know if I can get you approved. But if you own a real business, which by the way, explain to me why everyone shouldn't own a real business. Does anybody know what California's doing in 2023? Till June 15th? Y'all know?
No,
They're giving away LLCs for free.
Really?
You can start an LLC for free in California till June 15th. It is an initiative to create more small businesses because those are what make spur and e-commerce.
Right.
The economy blows up when small businesses thrive. So
yes.
California has an initiative until June 15th. You get an LLC. You get an LLC that is anything profitable. You can get a key man policy. Do you two know how key man?
Wait, hold on. Do you apply for the LLC and then you have to go through a process to make it free, or is it going to be free when you actually start?
There's no cost incurred.
Okay.
There's no cost incurred. Yeah. So when you set your LLC up, what I would do is go to a professional CPA or one of these, the companies like LegalZoom might charge you a fee because they do it for you. But the state of California, they usually will charge you a fee, and then California will charge you a fee. That fee will be default. You won't have to pay a fee to the state of California until the 15th of June. It's either the 15th or the 30th. But leverage that. Because when you own a business, see, you're gonna take me on a soapbox. Every brother in this room needs to own a business. All 4 of us need to own a business. The moment you own a business, you can get with a tax professional, and your car note is now a write-off. Your travel is now a write-off. Your business does not have to be profitable for 24 months. By the way, federal program the last 3 years since COVID. Every time you go out to eat, you can write off 100% of eating. It used to be 50%.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you this caveat. You gonna this one. Look, alcohol or the business drinks. At least I think it's maximum of like 2 drinks. If we go to a bar and have a business
It's
meeting,
all drinks for the last 2 years, brother. It used to be.
okay.
Since COVID, they're trying to get people to be entrepreneurs. You can write off every drink.
Oh man, let me get another one.
Listen,
We're going.
that's crazy. It used to be only a 2 max or 50%.
Yeah.
It's every drink now.
Okay.
You can write off all your drinks. You can go get drunk as don't do it. But you can go get drunk as a skunk.
Be smart.
You
Because what's gonna happen is with everything, and this is for y'all. Just please listen to people that fuck it up for everybody. For real. No, seriously. The reason loopholes get closed is because people do too much. Don't fuck it up for everybody. Be legit with your shit. Be smart and crafty, but be legit with your shit, because when you don't, that's why, remember, you had the orange dude come into office and took away hell of our tax write-offs for us homeowners. Hell of shit, which once you learn the game, just like we said when it comes to social shit, they keep moving the fucking goalposts. They're gonna keep moving. They're gonna be like, if you move the goalposts too far, in society, you have anarchy. Because everybody's starting to understand, hey, you keep fucking with us. And that's why you got, like you said, the system you have now. They're like, oh shit, these niggas is about to riot. We got to throw them something. We got to make the people peaceful. Music tames the savage beast. You motherfuckers, shit y'all seen in cartoons as kids is real shit. I understand what the fuck. It's a reason the Simpsons has been known for fucking 30 plus years. And the other good cartoons that we know and loved as kids.
Family Guy, they still.
Voltron, motherfucker, and I'll form the head.
How do you feel about like the rise of what they commonly jokingly call it stuff like LLC Twitter and stuff like that? Like I saw, like, remember the group Pretty Ricky, right?
Yep.
There's a guy in there named Spectacular,
Yeah.
and he's reinvented himself as a financial guru. So I was watching this girl walks up to him, and she does interviews of entrepreneurs, and she says, "Hey, what would you rather have, $2 million or 850 credit score?" So he looks at the camera and he says, you know, you want the 850 credit score, you form your LLC, you get these credit cards, and you do, remember you were saying about the loopholes? Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, you get the LLC, and then you get all these credit cards, this and that, right? The very first comment was somebody saying, why the fuck would y'all ask an R&B singer some of that? But there was a lot of people in the comments like, oh yeah, he know that finance, he know that. You know, this right up there with what would you rather have, 500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z? Dinner with Jay-Z. But that's
who's at 2.7 billion now?
Yeah. But the young girl, she does this. She's got a pretty popular page, and that's what she does. She goes to people like the dudes from Earn Your Leisure, any of these type of financial gurus. What would you rather have, $2 million or 850 credit score? And I thought the $2 million would be a no-brainer. But a lot of people, these gurus, will be like, no, you get the score. But Spectacular went further with, oh, you get the LLC, you get the credit cards, and you this and that, you get your a DMB number, and then you get all these cards.
Bullshit, bro.
I don't want to owe shit.
That's bullshit. Let me tell you why that's bullshit. Let me tell you why bullshit.
Go ahead.
Because an 850 credit score implies you don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
The $2 million, the answer is $2 million. By the way, I ain't having dinner with Jay-Z versus $2 million because I knew what to do with $1 million. Does that make sense? The implication is that with the money, you're going to blow it, right? And so that's why we talk about financial intelligence. If you have your own financial intelligence, you don't need to have dinner with Jay-Z in order to also have fluency and wealth, right? An 850 credit score, one mess up is a 640. You fucked.
Right, exactly.
$2 million.
Or even using the damn credit will drop you.
Man, right? If you don't understand usage and limits and revolving versus installment debt, like
approved for over $1 million, and I'm like, I'm not.
Am I ready for those kind of decisions yet? $1 million liquid? Do you know what
$1 million house mortgage is? $9,000 a month.
$500, $9,000.
You know what I bought my shit for, and I'm good.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, you can give me the keys to Disneyland, But hey, I'm gonna still take this
I'm
7-Eleven
getting hit over the
Slurpee.
head every month for a mortgage. I'm
Yeah.
upside down.
Also, guys, if you ask a businessman, would you rather have cash or credit? What would a businessman say?
I would think cash. I
He
would
gonna
think you want to
say
get liquid.
cash is fucking king.
But all these gurus, and the thing is like a lot of them, like they got these like this, Anya Lee, Jay Morrison, a lot of these guys, and some of the advice, like I've talked to a few cats like yourself over the years, you know, just picking up things, right? But then I can actually see you. I can actually see what you've done. And some of these cats be on the internet, they be leaning back in these chairs, they looking bossy, and they bring these guests on, but the shit they be saying be completely opposite than what real life
They're selling
people
a
be
product.
saying.
They're selling a product.
Yeah.
So Spectacular sells a product where you go through his coaching. So if you take $2 million, you don't need him. In
That's
fact,
a meal prep.
you can go pay Edward Jones a 3% commission, and they will make your money make you money.
Yeah,
But he wants you to be a disciple of his business, which is going to pay him passive income.
exactly.
So
It's a pyramid.
I wouldn't call it that.
But it's kind of grip.
It is.
Lightweight grip.
Well, it's a finesse.
You know?
It's for surely
It's
a
middleman mentality.
I'm gonna guide
I'll
you.
call it
I'm
that.
gonna trust in me, but I'm gonna guide you on a path where you will be constantly paying me.
Yes.
You want to lose weight, I'm going to
Yes.
sell you
Yes.
prepackaged meals because you can do the same thing on your own,
Yes.
but I got prepackaged meals
Yes.
that's designed for you. That's what it is.
at a 400% markup.
Exactly.
Well, as much as I love to say it,
And I call that a
ready to
pyramid.
wrap this up.
Oh yeah.
When we
So,
ran pretty deep.
Hey, once again, I'm loving this
We can do
conversation.
this shit till
I
we-
love when
Did you ever see that video I'm talking about? Where they was asking, when they asked
You need to find
Spectacular, should he do what should you pick? 850 credit score or 2 million? And he started talking about the get your LLC and
Now-
your credit cards and all that.
when I said the credit score, because my thing is, of course, you give me $2 million, it's just like I told you. If I give you $2 million, you're going to act one way. If you earn your $2 million, it's going to be another thing. So my answer on the credit score, because credit will get you places that $2 million may put you in some doors, but the responsibility of maintaining that credit score. And so my credit score answers because I understand that aspect of it.
Which is, what's the opposite of credit?
Debt.
Okay, cool. So with that credit, what you gonna go accumulate?
Debt.
Now you fucked. You feel me? Like, what are we talking about? Does that
Unless
make
you,
sense?
right,
Does that make sense?
unless you're right, unless you're
Right.
putting it into something.
Right.
simple. Now, the day they come up where you can invest in, here's just, I'm gonna give y'all this. Let me Jim. Actually, no. Before I give the Jim, tell everybody where they can find you.
Ah, man, I'm on Facebook, Damian Mackey. I'm on Instagram, Dame that dude. People told me I should change. I ain't changing it. I've had it forever. We're keeping it. DAM that dude. You can find me in the Bay, man. Championing for the folk who don't have access. Guys, I don't charge. I don't charge unless I'm doing business for a company, because I know companies get to write that off. So that's a win-win for everybody. But I do what I do for the free. I do what I do because it's a purpose for me. It's a purpose-driven opportunity. And here's the deal. I understand how money works, so I just know how to make, like, once you learn how to make money work, money is just a resource. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who chase the bag, you gotta teach the bag how to chase you. And that's what most people who don't
I
have.
make money in my sleep.
I do. Well, most people, I mean, 401ks make money in your sleep, so you just don't control it. But I'm a social media guy. I love the Bay. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, I'm a guy who pays homage to Big Bro right here. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, just throwing opportunity my way.
Yeah, he mentioned you a while. He's like, bro, I'm like, we got day. I'm like, make it happen. That's for sure. We gonna make it happen. And I was like, okay. He's like, I said, we got dates open. So you've been on the radar for a minute.
It's important, man.
And-
it's important. And
yeah.
we got access to all the rappers.
Wow,
in the
this
day.
shit.
We got access to all the ratchet. We got access
Yeah.
to all that. But
We trying to put
we had
some
Dr.
fundamental shit.
T-Mass on last week.
That's my cousin.
And it's important for us, to me, to be well-rounded. We want to show the whole picture, you know what I mean? Because, it's big. It's big.
About building, mouth to ear.
We're complex people, and we live in complex times, so we gotta get the cream from everything to figure out how to navigate this thing and break these cycles.
Exactly. Because
And
I
we got a
mean,
financial deficit, and that's on us. Like, stop blaming other people.
dude, speaking and real talk. Y'all know the fucking this corporation, because this ain't a country. That's another story. But their credit rating debt just doubled. Y'all know that. This corporation that y'all call the United States.
It is a business.
It's not a country. It's a corporation. That's shit you'll get at 3 in the morning.
So yeah, for sure.
You're talking about lowercase name versus all that.
Yeah. My name is not in capital letters on my birth
You're
certificate.
taking it a whole nother level.
Yeah, my name is not in capital letters on my birth certificate, so I'm able to say some shit. Just saying. No. But anyway, yeah, I does that.
It's your boy Camouflage
Tell me where you can find you.
Y'all tap into me on Instagram at Camouflage. Also, excuse me, y'all. I've been having 2 Facebooks going. I just shut that one down. But y'all tune into Rail Jackson, and it's Camouflage Rail also. You can find any of the missed episodes, including this one, on our Facebook, on our YouTube page.
YouTube.
Yep. So y'all tap in. I know a lot of our followers do look at us later because, everybody got them busy schedules. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in, for viewing us. And this is a key episode. Last week was a key episode. Of course, all are, but we trying to elevate our people and take it to another level, man. And so this was big to me, and I appreciate D-Mac for showing up for sure.
Appreciate, definitely. We definitely don't chop it up, because I got some people I can put you in the room with.
Say less.
You know,
Say less.
part of some very influential organizations. Yeah, we do that. For sure.
Man.
Okay, tell them where they can find you at, my guy.
You can find me across the board at Feral Films, Instagram, Facebook, all that type of stuff, man. The Donald Goins of the Bay, man, of movie making.
You make movies, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Documentary and all the shit?
Nah, I do narrative features.
What? Tell me your page again.
Feral Films.
With a PH?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Like
I'm on that.
the Cognac Kings.
Oh shit. He said Cognac.
He went deep. He went deep right with Real wrapping us up.
Yeah, because I got large, so I'm in this.
And I'll say this, man, I appreciate you guys for having me in the building. I just want y'all to know, this is what I do. This is my DNA. I love doing it. We need to empower ourselves. We gotta stop waiting for somebody else to give us the magic bean, the magic ticket, whatever.
They just gotta stop waiting for Caesar Borgia.
It's there. It's available. Like, there are places you can start with $100, and time is important. But you can put $100 in different places, and over time, that $100 will turn into $100,000, $500,000, right? Depending on what you do with it. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Mackey, what can I do?" Like, to be honest with you, there is not one right answer. We have real estate. We have short-term real estate plays. We got long-term real estate plays. We got, first things first. You guys talked about credit. You gotta get your credit in order. You gotta make sure you have the ability to have credit worthiness. You need to be worthy of borrowing money out of the cash flow stream, right? You gotta learn ways to make money work for you that brings income for you instead of outgoing debt to others. And really, that's what it's about. And protecting your assets. If you own a home, protect it. You own jewelry, and by the way, jewelry is a good place to put your money.
Yeah.
You got real gold, and you own some precious metals. That's a good investment, believe it or
The
not.
return value is good.
It's ridiculous. By the way, Jordans are an investment now.
Yes.
I'm not getting goofy, so
I'll show you some shit in a minute.
shit. Show me.
I'm talking about collectible shit.
Show me. I'm a collector.
Jordan rookie card. Barry
Wow.
Bonds
What?
rookie card.
Yeah.
After
clear.
this year, the
Clear.
card coming
I'll show
out.
you some shit.
Let's get my rookie card now.
Yeah, exactly. I got some shit.
But man, keep your tennis shoes laced, man, and be hella bay up in here, and keep it moving.
Hey. Sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Low and Bree tuned in.
Especially
Chico,
Mark Anthony trying to steer the
as
conversation on
always.
the football.
Keisha, hey, happy birthday, fam. I know your birthday just passed.
Happy birthday, Keisha.
Everybody, Cuzzo Daryl, Jermaine, let me see, Brother Damon White, who's having Everybody tuned in. Tanya, I appreciate you all. Share the page, share the live.
Did we ever answer Mark Anthony's question though? When is Oklahoma going back to the playoffs?
Don't sleep. 2023.
It's gonna happen one day.
2023.
Thank you all. You know me, I'm Deshaun. You can find me at Cognac_Confessionals on IG. You can find me here. And humbly, cockily speaking, I'm probably in her dreams because that's where I reside. Thank you all, everybody, like I said, for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week. As usual, now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Hey, catch y'all next week, man. Love and light.